Yo, it's your boy eBay Fight Predictions in the building. I'll be breaking down Roy MacDonald versus Ray Cooper the third, PFL event. Really dope card. Yeah, we're in the number 7 playoffs, which is interesting. I like the way how PFL does their thing, almost like if you watch basketball, kind of like the NBA and stuff like that. Their regular season and then their playoffs. So I like that, or any other sport, honestly, just not basketball, but. Yeah, really good fight. Ray Cooper is the defending champ at the PFL. He is, he's been doing his thing, and I mean, he's looked really good. Roy, I mean, he's, in my humble opinion, I got him on a 2-fight winning streak. I don't care what nobody says about that Gleason T-Bow fight. He won that fight. And he's looked really good at what's it called? At PFL. My bad. Leaving Bellator. He's had a lot of stints, and he's been good in a lot of places. So you gotta respect his his resume. But yeah, I know a lot of people love Roy. I know I'm gonna get a lot of hate for. I was never the biggest Roy fan, probably because it kind of pissed me off the comparisons to him and GSP, and it's like those guys are completely different Like, he's completely different from GSP. The way he fights, the way he moves, it's a lot different. And I ain't gonna lie, I was a big Robbie Lawler fan back in the day, and I still am. Don't get it twisted, but I mean, I enjoyed what Robbie did to him. It was just one of them hype trains. It's like, I don't know, man. It was just a lack of respect for the champ, and kind of taught him a lesson. But it was a great fight, though. I never disrespected him after that fight. Even during that fight, I was scared that Robbie was gonna lose. And yeah, he's a warrior. No disrespect to him. After that day, I had nothing bad to say about him. And yeah, he's a good human being too. So it is what it is. But if you look at the resumes, Roy comes in with a record of 22-7. He's fighting I think he's fighting out of Florida, actually. I think he's fighting out of Stanford MMA. Age 32, height 6 foot, and a reach of 79. So that's the big thing going into this fight is the reach. Ray Cooper, 22-7-1, fighting out of Hawaii. Age 28, height of 5'7", and a reach of 70. So there's a lot of things going into this matchup. I mean, when I look at the height, first of all, 6 foot 5'7". I mean, Roy's going to be the taller guy. And then I look at the reaches, 9-inch reach advantage. That's crazy. Now, here's the things I also look at. Damage. Now, Roy isn't old. He's not an older person. He's been in the game for a long time, but he's 32. He's still in his prime. Ray Cooper's trying to go into his prime, so it's a lot different. But yeah, when you talk about damage and being war torn, in my humble opinion, I think Roy, he changed. He's a different fighter now. That's not a bad thing. He's more of a grappler now, I would say, and he tries to take less damage in his fights. But I wouldn't say Roy is the same guy that fought Carlos Condit. That's the same guy that fought Robbie Lawler. They're just that guy with that killer instinct, and just is ready to go to war. The same guy that fought BJ Penn or Nate Diaz, I just don't think he's the same guy, but it is what it is. He's still a vet, and he still knows a lot of tricks to this game, and I think Ray's gonna have to find out a lot of things about Roy and a lot of things about himself. But if we look at Ray Cooper, I mean, I give him his credit, man. He's been doing his thing. He's not just a striker. He's a well-rounded fighter. His Jason Panat fight got him in an arm triangle. So he got submissions on his record. He's been knocked out before by John Howard. So that was a little crazy. But I give him his credit. Really, first time I saw him was the Jake Shields fight. I mean, he retired Jake. Straight up, he retired Jake from MMA. He took him out of there, and I mean, that was brutal what he did to Jake. The ground and pound, the knockout. It was a really bad, just beating. I'm sorry, my bad. But yeah, I mean, and it is what it is. And then if you look at his fight against Magomed Kamiradov or whatever, I'm sorry if I'm mispronouncing that guy's names. My bad. I mean, that was just he didn't know how to deal with the wrestling, and he got caught up, man. I mean, there were so many takedowns. Like, he didn't do bad, but again, even the reach, Magomed had a bit of a reach advantage. He was able to use his jab. And the thing about Ray Cooper, he got them T-Rex arms, right? No disrespect. He's always going forward, and he's always trying to press the action. And he's kind of like, he kind of puts himself in bad situations where he might swing and overextend, and he might get caught up in a takedown, or just a lot of grappling situations. So that's the only really interesting thing. But he has legit knockout power, kind of. I've heard a lot of. I think Big John McCarthy even said it. Reminds him of Robbie Lawler. I don't see that, but I will say one thing: the kid can put pressure, and he got power like Robbie. I'll give him that. But I don't think Robbie was a lot longer than this kid. With all due respect. So I know I'm talking a lot about his reach, but man, he got some shorty arms, man. He got some T-Rex arms, homie. But man, he can crack though. He can crack. What he did to Chris Curtis, that was nuts. I mean, he knocked his ass the fuck out. And then David Machad, that was a body punch, then ground and pound. Like he finished these dudes, Last fight went to decision, but that's all right. Now Roy, if we look at Roy and what he's accomplished, I mean, he has a legit resume and some good names he's beaten. I mean, he's beaten some of the best. If you really look down, man, I mean, he had that fight with Carlos Condit. He lost it, but it was very, very close. Then beat Nate Diaz, completely dominated Nate. I mean, that was one of those fights where I saw Nate for what he truly was. It's a journeyman. I'll never forget that. Killed BJ Penn, beat the shit out of Jake Ellenberger. Then he had that close fight with Robbie Lawler. The first one, that fight was so close. A lot of people felt some type of way, but I thought Robbie won that, but a lot of people felt some type of way about that. And then he went on this crazy run where he beat Damian Maia, Tyron Woodley, I think, is it Takrafine? Or whatever, however you say that dude's name. And then, who else did he fight? And then, and he was on that 3-fight winning streak. He ran it back with Robbie Lawler in crazy fight. Went to war. That it was so. In my humble opinion, I thought, man, it was really close. I just, man, I gotta remember that fight. Was it 2-2? I don't think I had it 2-2 actually. I think I had it. I think Robbie was somewhat leading in that fight to me. It might have been 3-1. No, I might be tripping. I just remember the first 2 rounds were a bit slow, and then they just went crazy. They were going at it. And I remember in the fourth or third, Roy hurt Robbie bad. He had him on skits. And then in that 5th round, his nose was just shattered, dude. He was just completely shattered, and he had nothing left. So, it is what it is at the end of the day. And then, he fights Stephen Thompson in his rebound fight, and he just kind of got schooled, Thompson was just the better guy at the time. He was almost like the new kid on the block, and it was kind of crazy seeing it and just seeing his kind of career unfold like that. Because I thought the kid was going to stay in the UFC forever. He fought for a world title. Even after he lost, what's his name? To even Stephen Thompson, he still was in the top 5. So it was crazy. He only, after the Robbie fight, he left. Then he went to Bellator, fought Paul Daly, then fought Douglas Lima in his second fight. He got that done quick. I mean, well, not quick, but that one was dicey, and it was really a close fight. I mean, Douglas Lima is just a complete idiot, and you guys know how I feel about that dude. I enjoyed everything I seen in his last fight. But I mean, he just stayed in guard. Like, he had Roy's calf destroyed. It was done. It was dead to rights. And he does this dumb thing where he sits in guard, and that's why I never liked the guy, because I knew if you give him a good wrestler, they're gonna destroy him. But then he fought Gegard Mousasi. Mousasi, did him dirty, destroyed him. Bad ground and pound. I mean, it was a big super fight, right? This was the biggest fight in Bellator, and he wrecked him. Gegard wrecked him. So there's nothing to say. Then he had that fight with John Fitch, which was really interesting. This is where people said Roy was really done, and I mean, I thought Fitch won. Fitch is an AKA legend, obviously, so I'm a little biased. But I mean, it is what it is at the end of the day. I thought Fitch won that fight, but it got scored a draw, so at least, Roy didn't, win. At least he didn't at least Fish didn't get robbed, so, hey, it is what it is. Then he fought Neiman Gracie. A good victory here. He got that one done. And then he fought Douglas Lima. This time Lima's, for some odd reason, his takedown defense was in order. He did his thing. And, he destroyed his calf. That's another thing about Roy. His nose and his calf are completely destroyed. His calf, dude, it's like there's some weird, like, separation in his muscles. Like, I forgot he was describing it. It's, like, completely wrecked, So you don't want to hit him there. And then he fought Curtis Melinder, choked him out quick in his PFL debut, and then had that T-bout fight. So, I talked about Roy enough. Honestly, I'm going to break it down like this on how I can see Ray and, MacDonald, how they win. Obviously, Cooper, he, what he needs to do is just put pressure. A lot of people are comparing you to Robbie in this fight, and I guess just kind of do what Robbie did. Put a subtle jab on him, mark up that nose, then start adding the 1-2. Let the fight flow. This is going to be a longer fight. And almost, press him. It's going to be really hard to press him, but press him, put pressure on him, maybe attack the calf, throw the jab to the body. I love the jab to the body. I think that's one of the most underrated moves in the game and in general. Even in boxing or in MMA, but even throw lead body. But I don't think Cooper has body kicks in his game. But if you can, you throw body kicks. Basically, when you're dealing with a taller guy, it's kind of hard to hit his head, right? They're really, I don't know, it's a weird thing, these taller, lankier guys, they got really, really good head movement. And, if you can't hit the head, then you got to hit the body, because you can't move the body like you can move the head. So, it's a lot harder. So I think, Cooper, and he has good body work. So if Cooper can work the body in the earlier rounds, it'll, pay dividend in the later rounds. So basically, Cooper is going to have to use his youth, and his power and his forward pressure to kind of break MacDonald. For MacDonald, there's a lot of ways to win. He's the vet, in this game. I'm sorry, Cooper, but they have similar records. That is true. They do have similar, which is crazy. But I think Roy's been doing it longer. I don't know, just age and stuff. I feel like Roy's been doing it longer, and he's been in more championship, like high caliber championship fights. No disrespect to Cooper, but I think no matter what in this fight, I think if Roy doesn't use his jab, then Roy is completely done. He honestly, in my humble opinion, he has a 9-inch reach advantage. He should be able to use his jab. And, Roy has really, really good single leg trips, really good wrestling. The way he gets the back, he's a killer on the mat. Sorry. But, yeah, like he's a killer on the mat, uses reach. And Cooper has shown us, susceptible to losing to wrestlers. So I think if Roy uses his jab and uses his wrestling, I think he should get this done. I got to go with Roy by decision. Just looking at the 9-inch reach advantage is just one of those big red flags. And just looking at Cooper's, you've seen what he's, been able to deal with when it comes down to, grapplers. And, even Cooper was talking a little bit of mess about Roy. And I'm not the biggest Roy fan. Don't even get it twisted. So I don't have a problem with him saying this. But he's saying Roy is just a regular guy to him. Roy ain't no regular guy. He is a bona fide stud. No matter what you say about Roy, he is legit. I will always give him that. He's a legit fighter. So, yeah, I gotta take Red King here. But it is what it is. Hope you guys enjoyed the video. It's your boy eBay. Do not forget to follow me on my Instagram, my Twitter. If you're new, subscribe, like, comment, share. Let's get this eBay Fight Prediction Nation growing. Love y'all and goodbye.